Hi everybody and welcome to Observing with Webb for October of 2016. This is where the armchair astronomer figures out what they're looking at, why it's so cool, and what they should check out next. Also make sure you check out my Twitter feed, my YouTube channel, and my Podbean page for podcasts. It is the username Mr. Webb PV, that's MRWEBBPV for Pequea Valley. I want you to take a look. We're talking about October, and October is going to bring us, good views of Venus, good views of Saturn, good views of Mars and Jupiter. We've got the Orionid Meteor Shower, although not great. We're going to have a night launch of a rocket visible on the eastern seaboard at least, and we also again have a challenge for the Pequea Valley Planetarium. This is the last video I'm going to ask you about, at least with observing, but take a look at the screen. If you take a look at the sky there, it is the night sky for October 31st. Why is that important? Well, that's the last day of voting. The sky actually has nothing to do with it, but that's the last night of voting. And what I'm asking you to do is vote for my planetarium before October 31st. In fact, every day in October. Let me rewind a little bit. So, with the planetarium, I'm going to try to run through this super quick. It's getting old. It's almost 50 years old, and it needs a makeover. It needs a refurbishment in order for us to keep going. The lights are going to go out, essentially. Now, what I did is I wrote a proposal with Farmers Insurance, and I am one of 15 finalists to win $100,000 to refurbish the planetarium. Okay? And the way they figure out who gets the money is who gets the most votes. And the top 6 of those last 15 are the ones who get the money, and I want one of them to be me. So all you really have to do is go to farmers.com/thankateacher or thankamericas.teachers.com. It's right there. And vote every single day. What you do is you go there and you look for my video, my smiling face, and I got a nice little bow tie on there, a little blue one with planets and stuff. So look for me and vote for me, and don't forget to verify your vote. They'll send an email to your email address. Make sure that it doesn't get stuck in your spam folder, and verify that. And do this every single day, because every day you can vote. In case you're like me and you forget to do things, I can send you an email every single day. All you need to do is go to the planetarium website. I will put a link in the YouTube video for that. Go to my planetarium website and sign up for the daily reminders. That's going to be the best way for me to reach you. Also, please spread the word of this. I'm looking to get tons and tons and tons of people. Try your congressman. Try sharing it on your Facebook wall. Try tweeting it out on your Twitter. Try emailing it. Write a letter to your mom. Whatever gets you to do it, that would be great. So, again, we're trying to make sure that the planetarium continues for another 50 years with new lighting, new seats, and a new summer STEM space program for all of the students in our district. That's what we are looking for. Okay, among other things. But you can look at the details at the planetarium website. But I'm really looking to get this so I can keep doing this stuff in Lancaster County. Oh, by the way, if you sign up for that email list, you get entered in to win a free private planetarium show or star party hosted by me. Or if you choose, I can find someone else. But you get put into that pool. I'm going to randomly select one person to get a free planetarium show or star party. We'll go from there. So anyway, I'll put links in the description of the video, etc. So anyway, planets, constellations, and stuff going on this month. Let me go quickly. Let's do the planets real quick. Let me go to October 1st. And let's talk about the sunset planets, okay? Now, sunset is a little bit before 6:45, so let's go just a little bit later. Let's go to like 7:15 or let's do 7:30. So if you're looking at 7:30, you're going to be able to see off in the southwest 3 planets. You've got Venus down here. Zoom in a little bit more. You've got Venus over here, Saturn up here, and Mars over here. Now, to find these, you might need a little bit of skill sometimes, but Venus is going to be really, really bright, so that should be easy to find. Saturn will also be bright, but you want to notice that Antares is down here too. That's also pretty bright, but these two will be two bright objects, one right on top of each other. Whoa, excuse me. And Mars is going to be off to the left. It's kind of bright, but it's more red in nature. So just look for Mars by looking for the red one. Now, what you'll notice is that throughout the month, you've got a couple changes going on here. Okay, let me go through. I'm going to fast forward a day. Oh, the moon's going to come by. I'll talk about that later. Okay, but what you notice is that, let me go back a little bit. As a month goes by, Saturn sort of floats toward Venus and Venus towards Saturn until the 28th, when they are pretty much the closest. I think only about 4 degrees apart. I'll talk more about that later. But toward the end of the month, Saturn and Venus are going to merge together, not together, but close to each other. And Mars is going to be out here to the left of Sagittarius. Whereas in the beginning of the month, Mars was toward the top right of the teapot of Sagittarius. So you got that going on. So sunset, look for Venus, Saturn, and Mars. Let me see if I forgot anything. Venus will set around 7:30, and Mars will set around 10:30, and Saturn anywhere between like 9:30 and 7:30 at night. So those are the evening planets that you can see. And you're not going to really see anything else until, well, here. We don't see any along the ecliptic, the path that the sun and the planets pretty much trace out. So let's go throughout the night. Okay, Uranus is up there, but that's, you can't see that without a telescope. And let's keep going. Oh, 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m. Oh, there's Mercury. Now, let's talk about Mercury real quick. Okay? See, what's going to happen is you might be able to catch Mercury the first week somewhere between 6:30 and 7 a.m. Okay? But what's going to happen is throughout the month, Mercury is going to get lower and lower in the sky, and then we won't really be able to see it. Oh, but there pops Jupiter. Jupiter's going to start getting higher and higher in the morning sky until October 31st. It's going to be as highest it is for October. And let's see, just look to the east, and you should be able to find Jupiter. It's going to be the brightest thing in that area, not too hard to find. But yeah. So in the morning, it's going to be Mercury, although it's going to be dim and hard to find in the beginning of the month. And then at the end of the month, it will be Jupiter. And that wraps it up for the planets. Let's talk about some of the events for the month. So let me go back to October 3rd, and let me look to the west. Okay, and let's go around sunset. So on October 3rd, around sunset, yep. That's about right. You see the moon and Venus close together. So as long as you look after sunset, which is about 6:45, it'll be a very thin crescent moon, and Venus will be down below that. Might need binoculars, might not. Depends on the clarity of your skies and where you are and such. But then what happens is an interesting thing over the next couple of nights. Let's see if I can get a good zoom on this. Okay. So we're talking about these three planets, Venus, Saturn, and Mars. What will happen is the moon will get in between Venus and Saturn, okay? And then on the night of the 5th, a nice crescent moon, easy to spot, will be right next to Saturn, only about 5 degrees away. The next night, the moon is thicker and now in between Saturn and Mars. The next night, still in between Saturn and Mars, but a little bit higher and closer to Mars. And then on the last night of this little thing, October 8th, you'll see the moon, almost a first quarter moon, and it's up and to the left of Mars. So this is a good little week-long observation that you can take a look at. Now, the next night, on the 9th, we now have the first quarter moon. That means the right half is lit up, and it's going to be visible until about midnight. Let's see. Oh, also the 9th. This is the cool one. So on the 9th, we also have the Antares rocket. I forget why it's going up. I think it's an International Space Station refuel. I'm not sure. But just go to NASA's Wallops Island or Wallops Flight Facility on Facebook. They have or maybe you can just search for Wallops Launch Visible on Google. Just be aware of some 2015 articles. You don't want those. Make sure it's current. But anyway, there's going to be a night launch of a rocket, which is super cool. Now, will you be able to see the body of the rocket? No, not unless you're actually at Wallops Island, which is one of NASA's facilities down in the Chincoteague-Assateague area. But let me tell you what I'm going to do. I'm in Lancaster County, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to find an elevated location. It could be just a hill, or it could be on a mountaintop, or what a mountaintop is in Lancaster County. But I'm going to make sure I have a very clear view of the southern horizon and the southeastern horizon, because I want to be able to see this very, very easily. You do not want trees in the way. You don't want mountains in the way. You want to be able to see this. Now, once I find that location, I'm going to bring my camera over, and I'm going to start setting it up. Let me see. And if I set it up right, and if I take, let's say, 8 pictures or something like that, I might get a picture that looks something like this. Okay, this is 8 pictures that I took. I think they were each 20 seconds long. They might have been 10 seconds. I'd have to look that up. But this was of the LADEE launch, LADEE. It was launched from the same spot as this one will. This was a rocket that was going to the moon. And what you can see is you can see the burn. This is the first stage going up, 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 and then it trails off. That's separation. Or actually, this is separation. And then this second stage started burning, 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 and you could actually see it. It was so cool, so neat. And it's going to happen, the launch, at 10:47. You might want to check on their Facebook and Twitter for updates, but once it comes down to the 5-10 minute window, I wouldn't be checking social media. I'd be watching the sky, because I was lucky I started my camera before it even launched, and that's why I got that. Otherwise, I wouldn't have taken the picture. Anyway, so check that out. That's going to be really super cool. Now, all right, so that's on the 9th. Let's move on. Not much happens for the next couple of nights. Really all that happens, let's watch the moon, and the moon gets, let's see, bigger and bigger and thicker every night until the 16th, which is when we have the full moon, and then nothing really happens until the 20th and the 22nd. 20th, 21st, and 22nd. What is going on that time period? In that time period, that would be the Orionid Meteor Shower. Now, the Orionid Meteor Shower is not going to be very good this year. However, the Orionid Meteor Shower comes from meteors that happen this time of year, October 20th, 22nd, every year, and they seem to be coming from in this area in Orion. It's Orion's club right there, and that spot is called the Radiant. That's where they all appear to be coming from. Here's the problem, is that these meteors don't really get too good. Don't think that grammar's right. They don't really look that great until the morning, and as you can see, on that morning, Orion may be up, but we got a waning gibbous moon, okay? And that waning gibbous moon is going to be an issue because it puts lots of light pollution in the sky, and you can't see the faint meteors. So I won't go into too much more detail because it's not a great meteor shower, but hey, if you're out, take a look up, and you'll probably see an Orionid if you wait 5-10 minutes, or on the day of, maybe 5 minutes. So usually produce about, I think, like 20 quick, fast, faint meteors, so you might find something. Also, the 22nd is the last quarter moon. That means you can see it from about midnight and into the morning. And lastly, we've got 2 cool things happening on October 28th. And October 28th is a Friday. So Friday night, October 28th. Let's take a look at sunset. And let's look at the west. Get over there. You've got Saturn and Venus getting really close together. They're only going to be, let's see, what did I say? Saturn and Venus are going to be only 5 degrees apart. Saturn is going to be up there, so is Venus. Saturn will be dimmer, Venus will be brighter, but still going to be really neat to see both of them really close together. Oh, and actually on the morning of the 28th, let me go back to sunrise, and let me look east. What you'll see is Jupiter and the moon pretty close together. Let me get it a little darker there. Maybe 7 a.m. on October 28th. You'll see Jupiter and the moon pretty darn close together. That's going to be a pretty neat view to see. They're only 1 degree apart, which is unusual. That's about 1 pinky width at arm's length. Anyway, so then if you're looking at the moon every day, the next day it's closer to the sun, and on the 30th, we have a new moon. So anyway, you know what? I think I'll quickly do the constellations. I think I do this every time. But I'm just going to look at, let's just look in general here. Let's go to October 15th. Let's look south. Let's look around sunset. All right, let's go a little bit further. So here's what we see. Let's go till 9 p.m. Okay, if you're looking at 9 p.m., I would highly suggest going out and looking more toward the west. You'll be able to catch some of the final glimpses of this summer triangle here. Okay, this summer triangle is not a constellation. It's actually 3 constellations: Cygnus the Swan, Aquila the Eagle, because that looks like an eagle, and Lyra the Harp. And they have the 3 brightest stars in the summer sky, which make a triangle in the sky. Okay, now what's going to happen is they're going to set earlier and earlier every night, so you won't be able to see them anymore. Now if you look more toward the south, you'll start seeing some fall constellations, such as Pegasus, the great big square, and Andromeda right here, and then the Andromeda galaxy is in there. Okay, and that's pretty much right above you, almost, but toward the south. And what you're going to see in the east, if you keep looking east throughout the month, or throughout the night, either same time of the day, every day of the month, or throughout the night, what you'll start seeing is the winter constellations popping in. You'll be able to see Orion, the great big bow tie in the sky, or the Hunter, if you prefer those old myths. You'll see Taurus up here, Gemini, Canis Minor. And here's what I'll do. I'll go more into depth next month about actually finding these constellations, because you'll have more time at night to actually do that. But those are coming up. That means winter is coming. And yeah, so with that, I think I'm going to just wish you very clear, dark skies for the month of October, and ask you, please, please vote every day for thankamericas.teachers.com. I'd like to get our planetarium back up to a sprint, back up to running instead of just hobbling around with my old stereo system from high school and light bulbs that you can't even buy anymore. So anyway, again, I'd like to wish you very clear, dark skies for the month of October.